Welcome back, Hobbyists of Middle-earth. Big hobby weekend. Big hobby weekend happening this weekend in the Forge to get ready for none other than Hotlead 2019. Really excited. This has been a lot of work coming together. I know OHA George has been working his butt off. The guys have been, contributing to the planning and getting everything ready to go. Make sure we got all the minis lined up. This year we're juggling two events essentially, so we're running a full participation demo game the entire weekend, so everybody can get their fill of SBG goodness. Hopefully get some interest in the game, drum up some new local players. Really excited for that. And then of course the OHA tournament War of the Ring is also occurring. So we've got 24 players this year. Excited to say we just got confirmation this morning. We've got a bunch of Yanks coming up with none other than Devin from the DCHL, which is awesome. And then of course we have Mr. Dan Entwistle, who will be joining me hopefully in the Forge a little later in the week for a special PMP. But he's over, so he's currently, I guess, hanging his hat somewhere in Toronto, and he's going to be making his way down to southwestern Ontario, and then we're going to meet up here, obviously, do a few things, hopefully play some games, and then we'll be heading to Hotlead. So, really excited about that. Look at this, I'm so excited. I missed the formalities of PMP. Cheers. It's thirsty work. It's thirsty work. So good, delicious when it hits your lips. I went with a chilada this morning just because, that's what I wanted. So, believe it or not, episode of PMP, there are actually paints. There's paints in this episode of PMP, which I'm very excited for. Been getting some work done on this fella here, and the reason for that is he's being used in the demo game. We wanted to make sure that we had some big marquee names. Some people are going to be excited to play. OJ Dane is handling the evil side. So the demo game is going to be 1,200 points. Now for seasoned players, obviously that's going to sound like an overwhelming number for a new player, but we're going to have up to 8 players at the table. So essentially what's happening is each player is going to get a warband. And then we've sort of come up with some custom scenarios that's going to add a little bit more flavor strategically to the game. Just because the demographic or the crowd at Hotlead is very geared toward historical, so they want to play like a proper scenario where there's an objective, a story. So we've got sort of we're going to be running 4 games across the different time slots. We have 4 different scenarios that we've come up with, where we have similar, like very similar to the game now, obviously, but different point values for certain objectives. So we'll have a certain number of objectives across the table. Each one will be worth a certain value of points. And obviously you don't want to relay that to your opponent. So there's that. We're throwing in a marauding troll. So basically whoever wins priority is going to get control of a troll in the middle of the board starting at the beginning of the game, which is fun, and that's going to alternate back and forth. So just something that we wanted to keep it fun and light. But we wanted the big hitters in there, just obviously because the name, the appearance, it's going to be fun. So very excited about that. The table is finally officially done. I posted up some pictures earlier on the social media accounts of the final progress on the waterfall. I'm quite happy with how that turned out, considering it's a piece of plastic card and some cotton dab and silicone. All it is. So quite pleased with that. Put in some fast moving water just to indicate spots where it'll be a little tougher to cross. So that table is done, ready to go. I got a whole pile of stuff packed up upstairs, doing some last minute painting. This is probably the most prepared for Hotlead I've ever been. Generally it's a mad dash to the finish line to get all this stuff ready to go. But obviously with Mr. Entwistle popping by, I wanted to make sure I had everything ready to go this weekend so that we can be hanging out, having fun, doing all kinds of great gaming and stuff later on in the week. So he's going to be joining me Wednesday night. So maybe look for a PNP Wednesday night with my special British friend. Not too sure, but we'll see where that lands and what we can sort of discuss. Maybe talk about the meta in the GBHL with the new rule set. There's a bunch of interesting things we could certainly talk about. So very excited for that. I've got a pile of stuff for the bring by. The truck is going to be loaded. Like it's ridiculous. I think I've got somewhere around the neighborhood of $1,300 to $1,400 worth of stuff for the bringing by. A caveat to that, anybody who is attending that is Middle-earth centric, there is a pile of Middle-earth stuff in the tote upstairs, just stuff that I'm not going to get to, stuff that I had duplicates of. A lot of it is, everything that's up there right now actually is brand new in box, wrapped, so there is a discount on it. You know, so look for that on the bring and buy table. There should be a pile of goodies to pick up for those of you who are keen to watch for deals. So other than that, I guess the next thing is really, you know, what's going to be next after Hotlead. I think after Hotlead, we have Chatham Comic Con, or CK Expo as it's called down here. So I know Big Papa T and some of the other guys are coming down. We're just basically going to have a games day. You know, it's a great place to just meet up. You know, there's all kinds of cool things going on with it being the Comic Con. We just get together, play some games, and, you know, we're there in front of the public, and if they want to ask questions and stuff, it's not really something that we actively, you know, like, we're not really aggressive in our recruiting there. It's more of a place we just go have some fun, play some games, hang out, and then maybe the guys will be coming back here. I'm not too sure. So that's exciting. Obviously, the OHA league has been we're now 2 rounds in. So the 300 point level is now complete. We're going to be moving to the 450, and it's really awesome to see all the guys that are showing up, playing, and they're excited, and they're showing up both nights. They're playing 4 games. You know, like, it's great. It's great to have the numbers that we have locally to London. I think the guys are enjoying the format. It gives everything a little more structure, something to play towards, and some definite surprising outcomes. There's a lot of guys that are just trying stuff, trying something new. I know myself, I took a Mordor army, which never in a million years would I have thought of, and the only reason I did it was to try to motivate me to paint more Mordor, because I don't have a lot of my Mordor stuff painted. So, and it's worked well. I got 300 points now. I'm going to have to go to 450, so unless I'm just going to throw another 150 points of orcs in, I got to get something decent painted. You know, and my list is interesting. It's fun to play. I don't know how competitive it is, so I have just a generic orc captain leading some orcs. I've got a troll in there with him, and then I have Shelob. So Sheila's been great for running around getting objectives and just being a general nuisance. Once I remembered to start using her will, being a new evil Mordor player that went right over Jason's head the first game I played. She ended up failing her courage check, and I walked her off the table without remembering to use her will. So that was a fun learning experience, and something that you know, is really great about playing, you know, 2 games a night essentially. So 4 games in a month, that's just our league play. That's not including, you know, get-togethers and any other tournaments over and above that. We will be hosting a tournament at the end of this league season. So that's 2 months now. So this is the first month done. So another 2 months, and then there will be a sort of league final tournament. However, that league final tournament will be open to other players as well. So look for that. Not quite sure where, what, who, when, what's happening there. You know, there is also talk of a 3rd OHA event being added. So I mean, things are good. Guys are getting motivated. You know, we've got quite a plethora of guys spread out all over the place. You know, I know Big Tony and Evan are doing something, hosting an event. Not exactly sure where that falls under what banner just yet, but you know, we're gonna be there to support the boys and to show our solidarity with the OHA guys. So yeah, it's exciting times. Lots going on. I know a lot of the OHA guys are getting ready to go. Well, getting ready. I mean, they're practicing and thinking about what they're going to do for Articon, and then obviously Nova coming up. I think there's some guys going to Nova. I'm on the fence. Unfortunately, with my return to work, getting time off has become a little more difficult because it's prime time and I wasn't around for the picks, so I got to see if I can make that work or not, but it's not looking overly promising, but you never know. Plus, I think it's pretty close to being sold out. If I remember seeing correctly, the Nova tickets themselves, I'm not sure about Devin's event, but the Nova tickets in general, I did see an email come through saying they were 80% sold out or 70%, something like that. So that'll be interesting to see if there's even tickets available. So, but that's okay. There is going to be an OHA sort of soiree get together. It will be by invite. It'll be here. It'll be another iteration of Bog. So for those of you who remember the way back finger, like one of our first events was Battle of Glenwood. It was hosted here at the farm. It was an outdoor event. We played outside. I had an absolute blast. So we're looking to revive that, but do it on sort of a grander scale maybe. Want to make sure that we got proper accommodations for people, that type of thing. So we're looking at a couple different options, bringing in a couple RVs maybe for accommodations. So look for that in the future if that's something that interests you. You never know. You may see an invite pop up into your mailbox. So other than that, I think that's it. I can't really afford to sit here and talk to you too much. Only because I really should be painting. The fact that I actually stopped to film a P&P while I was painting, it just felt right, so that's why I did it. Interesting stuff going on. You know, I've been a little more disconnected from the social media side of things as far as the different Facebook groups and stuff. Definitely not keeping my finger on the pulse as much as I had been. Obviously, given that I had a whole pile of time back for the last 5 months. Being back at work, obviously, switched things around. I've been a little more busy. Not able to keep up, but all this business about guys posting fake posts about models being released, and you know, I find it rather ludicrous that that this hobby has gotten to that point. I mean, you know, we all used to crack jokes about the 40K crowd, and you'd see stuff like that going on. You know, and sort of within our own little humble backyard of SBG, you didn't really see too much of that because it was kind of a niche game. Well, now with the onset of the game becoming so much more popular, you know, and it taking off, it seems like we're picking up a few of those fellas from different game systems. So it's kind of interesting to see the eclectic mix of individuals that that have joined our ranks, so to speak. But you know, I think you know, a number of years back, obviously when the game was I don't want to say struggling, but a very niche community. You had a lot of people that absolutely loved Tolkien. They adored, you know, the books, the movies, the lore. You know, so it was a very easy group to mesh with because everybody was there for a shared love. Whereas, in my opinion, at least, you're seeing a lot of people that are coming in, and it's, you know, I'm here because it's the flavor of the month type thing, and you see that in any game, any hobby. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's great. It supports the hobby. It supports content. It supports the creation of new models. All that fun stuff. It's great. I just find it interesting that you see some of the things that you see going on. You know, given the change in the demographic, I guess. So, anyways, I'm certainly glad that you know, thankfully we have no bugs like that on the OHA page. You know, we obviously have a little more control on what goes on the page, so you know, we don't have to worry too much about silly things like that. But you know, it's as funny as it is, it's not funny. It's something that wastes a lot of people's times, especially, you know, guys that are moderating these pages and stuff, having to deal with that crap. You know, like, give your head a shake. It's a game. Everybody's there to have fun. You don't need to be lying and starting crap. So anyways, that's it. That's my ramble. That's my rant. This has been Jason from The Forge. Look for another episode shortly. You know, we'll get everything finished up, packed up, ready to go. We'll get Mr. Entwistle in front of the camera, and we'll have a chat. So cheers. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Looking forward to seeing all of you guys at Hotlead. We got some great prizes. We got the swag bags. We're handing out prizes at the demo table for people. It's going to be a really fun, really fun weekend. And without a doubt, James Mantos has looked after us quite well in the fact that he has ensured that the OHA demo table is right beside the bar. So I can promise you that we will be staying well hydrated the entire weekend. That's my OHA safety promise to you. Anyways, we'll catch up with you later on in the week. Cheers, guys. Happy hobbying.